good evening and welcome to JJK Yoga. So today we're going to do a whole body stretch and we're going to start in a seated position. So I'd like you to come to a cross-legged position with your right leg in front. If your knees are really high, you can come to sit on some blocks or maybe a cushion. Try to create a nice upright spine. So remember, if you find it difficult to sit in an upright position, you can always come against the wall. And then just draw your shoulders down your back. Turn your palms over and connect your thumb with your index finger into a chin mudra. Maybe tilt your chin slightly so that the back of your neck is in line with your spine. And then just close your eyes here. Just take a moment here to arrive to your mat. Just taking a moment here to maybe just notice how you're feeling today. Scanning through your body, noticing if you're holding on to any tension. And then slowly start to bring your awareness to your breath. So don't change your breath, just observe your natural breath. And now we're going to slowly start to move towards our Ujjayi breath, the yogic breath of breathing in and out of the nostrils. So as you breathe in and out of your nose, you create that slight restriction to the back of your throat, and that creates an audible breath. So I just want you to take a moment here and just notice the sound of your breath. It should almost sound like an ocean wave rolling in and out. As you inhale, just allow the full torso to expand from all four sides. Just filling up your torso with as much air as you can, drawing the breath in from your pubic bone all the way up to your neck. And then as you exhale, slowly lift that pelvic floor. Gently draw the navel towards the spine as you start to draw the breath out of your body. On your next inhale, I want you to just draw the energy in from your lower spine and just draw that energy all the way up your spine and draw it in towards your heart center. Really allowing the chest to expand. And again, as you exhale, slowly start to lift that pelvic floor and gently squeeze your navel towards the spine. Your next inhale, think about breathing into the sides of the torso so you really allow your ribs to expand. And again, as you exhale, draw that pelvic floor up, draw navel to spine, and just slowly start to activate your bandhas. And just continue with this breath. And maybe take a moment here to count the length of your inhale and the length of your exhale. Really keeping our focus on our breath to really clear the mind of any external distractions, but also to warm up the body for today's practice. So if you find your breath lengths are different, maybe for your last few breaths, see if you can start to equalize your breath. Just find a point in the middle so you're not creating any force. After your next full breath, slowly start to bring yourself back into the room by opening your eyes. And then just turn your palms over your knees. Draw your shoulders down your back. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, slowly lower your chin down towards your chest. Just feeling that stretch along the back of your spine. Now bring your hands and interlace your fingers at the base of your head. Just letting the elbows draw down. Keep breathing. Just feeling that gentle stretch at the back of the spine. Now place your hands back on your knees. Take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly roll your right ear over to your right shoulder. Draw your left shoulder down your back. Raise your right arm and place your right hand on your left ear. You can maybe tilt your chin slightly closer to your chest. Just noticing that stretch along the left side of your neck, and hold it here. Just a gentle stretch. Try not to cause any strain here. And then slowly release your right hand. Place it back down on the knee. Draw the chin to the chest. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, draw your left ear over to your left shoulder. This time drawing your right shoulder down. And then raising your left arm up, placing your left hand on your right ear. And again, you can just gently tilt the chin closer towards your chest. Just feeling that stretch along the right side of your neck. And then release your hand, bring your chin back to your chest and lift your gaze. Lovely. So take an inhale here, and as you exhale, you're just going to slowly start to walk your hands forward. Keep drawing your sit bones back. So you're just trying to draw your torso over your legs. Try not to create a rounded back here. So really keep a nice straight back and draw your chest down rather than your forehead. Inhale and exhale. Maybe you can creep your fingers a little bit forward on each exhale. Make sure those sit bones are rooted into the mat. And then slowly start to make your way back up. Turn your torso over your right knee. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, drawing that left hip back, you're just going to walk your torso over your right knee. And then slowly come back. Switch your legs over, so bring your left leg in front this time. Maybe just pull the flesh out from underneath your sit bones. And then this time, you're going to raise your right arm up, bend the elbow and place your hand between your shoulder blades. And then bring your left arm over. Just bring your hand outside your right elbow and just draw that hand further down your back. And just hold it here. Again, just check that you're breathing. Try to keep your head in an upright position. And then slowly release your hand. Bring your left hand behind, between your shoulder blades. Reach your right arm over and just place your hand on the outside of the left elbow. Again, just guiding that hand further down your shoulder blades. Really feeling that stretch along the outside of your arm. And then slowly release your arms. Place your left hand outside your right knee. Bring your right hand behind you. Create a nice long spine. Inhale. And as you exhale, just twist over to your right. So remember to twist from your lower spine, then your middle spine, and then your upper spine. Eventually, maybe you can gaze over your right shoulder. And then slowly come back. Bring your right hand outside your left knee, your left hand behind you. Inhale, really lengthen the spine. As you exhale, start to twist over to your left. Again, twisting from your lower spine, your middle spine, and then your upper spine. And then maybe drawing your gaze over your left shoulder. Now come back to center, take an inhale. As you exhale, you're just going to slowly start to walk over your legs again. Again, just drawing those sit bones back. Take an inhale, lengthen, exhale. Maybe you can creep those hands a little bit more forward. So remember, it's your chest drawing down towards the mat rather than your forehead. And then slowly come back up. Twist over your left leg. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're just going to draw your torso over that left thigh. And then slowly come back up. So we're going to start to make our way into a tabletop position. Wrists directly under your shoulders, knees under your hips, toes pointing back. And then we're just going to do a few cat-cows here. So as you inhale, draw your tailbone back, chest forward. Keep your gaze in front of you. Exhale, round the spine up to the ceiling, chin towards your chest. Inhale, tailbone back, chest forward. Try to draw your shoulders down towards your knees and just notice that opening across your chest. And again, exhale, really round through the spine. Draw the navel up towards the ceiling. Round through the shoulders. One last one. Inhale, tailbone back, chest forward. Exhale, spine rounding up towards the ceiling. And then come to a neutral spine position. And then we're going to slowly reach our right arm out to the side. And as you exhale, you're going to thread your arm under. Inhale, you're going to come all the way back up. So just a gentle flow. Exhale, all the way under. Last one. Inhale, all the way up. And then exhale, come all the way under. And really come to rest on top of your right arm. So really draw your right arm under. And then bring your hips over your knees. And then you can walk your left hand to the top of your top of the mat. So you're extending the left side, stretching the under part of the right arm and shoulder. Just resting on your right temple. And then slowly draw your left hand back. Come back to tabletop. And then this time we're going to raise the left arm out and out to the side. Exhale, thread it underneath your right arm. Inhale all the way back. Exhale, thread. Inhale all the way up. And then exhale, thread it underneath your right armpit. Really draw it under. Square the hips over the knees and then extend your right arm. So again, you're just extending the right side, breathing into the under part of the left shoulder. Just resting on your left temple. And then slowly walk your right hand back. Come back to your tabletop and we're just going to walk ourselves forward and come to lie on our belly. So we're going to start by bringing our hands underneath our shoulders. You can rest the forehead onto the mat and then just see if you can bring your walk your legs further down the mat, so away from you. And then come onto the tops of your toes, including the little toe. So make sure the whole top of the foot is connected to the mat. And then from here, keep drawing your shoulders down your back. And as you inhale, using your back muscles, you're going to slowly lift your chest off the mat. So try not to place all the pressure into your hands. Exhale, come down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, come down. Make sure that pubic bone is pressing down into the mat. Inhale. Again, keep checking that the shoulders are drawing down the back. And then exhale. Last one. Inhale. Now hold it here. Really use those spinal muscles. There should be no compression in your neck or your lower back. And then slowly come down. Now bring your elbows under your shoulders here. Come to a rest on your forearms. Draw your shoulders down your back, gaze forward, chest nice and open. Now take an inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to slowly start to look over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Do that one more time. Exhale over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. And exhale over your left shoulder. And then come back. Just come to rest on your hands. Take a breath there. Now, keeping your forehead on the mat, just bring your hands either side of your hips and just walk your hands closer towards your hips, towards your feet, really drawing those shoulders down your back. Now, keeping your tops of your feet, including your little toe, and your hands planted into the mat. As you inhale, you're going to slowly start to peel your forehead, your chin, and your chest off the mat. Keep your gaze to the top edge of your mat, so try not to fling your neck back. Your neck should be in line with your spine. Keep holding it here. Really press into the tops of your feet. See if you can lift a little bit higher. Keep breathing. And one more inhale. See if you go a little bit higher. And then slowly come down. Come onto your right cheek, gaze to the left, and turn your palms over. Just take a breath here. Right, so you're going to come back to center. You're going to bring your left arm in front of you. You can bend the elbow. And then bend your right knee and bring your right hand either to your foot or your ankle. And then as you slowly inhale, you can rest your forehead on your hand, but you're going to try to lift that leg up. Try not to let that knee splay out. So you're just working into the front of that right quad. Heel can draw in towards your buttock. If you want, you can lift your chest up as well. And then slowly come down. Release the leg and bring the arm out to the side. This time turn your gaze to the right, coming onto your left cheek. And then slowly come back up. This time bring your right arm in front. And then you're going to bend your left knee and bring your hand onto the outside of your left foot. Again, you can rest your forehead on your arm and just lift that left knee. So you're trying to draw that left foot away, or you can come up. It's really breathing into the front of that left leg. And then slowly come down. Lovely. Again, turn your gaze over to the left, coming onto your right cheek. Now this time, bring your forehead back to the mat. You're going to bend both knees and then grab either tops of the feet, or more, maybe you can come closer down your legs, maybe grabbing onto the ankles. And then slowly, as you inhale, you're going to start to lift your chest and draw your feet back, lifting your chest off the mat. Keep your gaze forward. Try to draw your knees in towards each other. Big toes can touch. Try not to fling your neck back. There should be no compression in your neck or your lower back here. If you can't do this version, you can always just do your right leg and then your left leg. And then slowly come back down. Gaze to the right now, coming onto your left cheek. We're going to do that one more time. So if you only did one side there, you can do the other side. Otherwise, come to your forehead, and then we're going to do both sides again together. So again, draw your heels in towards your buttocks, grabbing the outsides of your feet. Draw your knees in towards each other. And as you inhale, slowly lifting your chest and your legs, drawing your feet back. Your feet are drawing up and back, opening the front of your chest. Neck is in line with your spine, just opening the front of that chest and those quads. And then slowly lower. Now just Create a pillow by placing one hand over the other in front of your forehead. Just rest your forehead there. And then bring your right arm out so your right wrist is in line with your right shoulder. And then gaze over your left shoulder. You can place your right cheek down onto the mat. If your head doesn't reach, you can always place a block or cushion underneath. Your left hand comes under your left shoulder. And as you press into your left hand, you're going to bring your left leg over your right leg. Now you can either stay there or you can bend your left knee and place your left foot behind your right leg. Left hand can stay where it is, or you can wrap it around you, placing the back of the hand on the sacrum or threading it underneath your waist. If the arm comes behind you, keep drawing that left shoulder back. Just really breathing into the front of that chest, particularly the area in front of the right shoulder. Just holding it here for a few breaths. Maybe just return back to the breath we started with. One more breath here. Then slowly bring your left hand back if you've got it behind you. Lengthen your left leg if it's bent, and then draw your legs over, gazing over your right hand. And then bring your right hand underneath your right shoulder. Gaze towards the left. Left wrist in line with your left shoulder. And then bring your left cheek onto the mat or a cushion or block. And again, you're going to press into your right hand as you lift your right leg over your left leg. You can stay here or you can bend your right knee, placing your right foot behind your left leg. Again, you can keep the hand in front or you can bring it behind you, placing the back of the hand onto a sacrum or just threading it under your waist. If you are drawing the arm back, keep drawing that right shoulder back. Again, just return back to your breath. Really breathing into the front of that left shoulder. So make sure you're not holding on to your breath. One more breath here. And then you're going to slowly bring your right hand back if you've got it behind you. Extend your right leg if it's bent. Then draw your legs over. Come all the way over. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And come to a tabletop position. Once in your tabletop position, I just want you to keep the hips stacked above the knees. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to extend your arms forward, drawing your forehead, your chin or your chest down towards the mat. Coming into a heart opening pose. So even in this pose, once in this pose, keep the hips stacked over your knees and keep drawing your heart down towards the mat. Just feeling that opening across your chest and the back of your shoulders. If you've got really tight shoulders, you can bend your elbows. And then slowly start to make your way back up. Let's just come to a quick child's pose. So you can bring the big toes to touch. Knees hip distance or wider. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're just going to walk your hands forward, drawing your chest all the way down to the mat. If your forehead doesn't quite reach, you can just place a block underneath. And then just creep those hands forward as you draw those hips back. Just extending the whole spine. And then slowly lift your head and walk your hands to the top left hand corner. Bring your right hand on top of your left hand. Draw that right hip back, really extending the right side of the torso. You can drop your right shoulder here. And then inhale, walk your hands center. As you exhale, walk your hands over to the left, bringing your left hand on top of your right hand. Drawing that left hip back, extending the left side of the torso. Try to drop your left shoulder here. And then slowly come back up to center. Bring yourself back to that tabletop position. And step your right foot in between your hands. Walk that left leg back. Keep that right knee stacked above your right heel. And just breathe into the front of that left hip. Just stay there. Remember, if your hands don't comfortably reach the floor, you can always use blocks to rest on. And then take an inhale. As you exhale, you can extend your hips back, extending your front leg, and just drawing your torso to the inside of that right leg. Really breathing into the back of that right hamstring. And then slowly come forwards again. Just holding it here now. And then come back. And then come forwards. Just bring your hands onto the inside of that right leg. You can walk your right leg about an inch to the right if you need to. Make sure that right leg is joining into your right arm. If you want, you can come down to your elbows. Again, just make sure there's that connection between your right leg and your right knee and your right arm. If you have blocks and your elbows don't quite reach, you can place the blocks under your forearms. Just keep your gaze forward. Try not to let that right hip draw forward. Make sure it's still energetically drawing back. And then slowly come up. Now place your left hand underneath your left shoulder. And then you're going to slowly just open up that right arm. Just a gentle twist. If you can bring that hand further back. Just twisting the body to the right. And then slowly come back down. Okay, from there, you're going to slowly walk the right foot a couple of inches to the right. And then just turn the turn the toes out and come onto the outside of that right foot. Left hand stays underneath your left shoulder, and then use your right hand to really open that leg out. Really drawing your torso over that right leg. You can stay there, or if you want, you can start to bend your left knee and then use your right hand to grab your left foot. Now, if you are doing this, make sure you're resting at the top of your left thigh. You should not be on your knee joint. So make sure you're on the top of the thigh. The further back you send that leg, then you'll find that a bit easier. And then you use your right hand to draw that heel in towards your left buttock. So if you're feeling any pain in your knee, just come out. And then slowly release that leg back. Bring the right foot in. And then you're going to draw the left leg in. So your right leg and left leg are parallel. Otherwise it's going to come up. Going to come to a gentle twist. So bring your right arm up. Place the hand behind your sacrum. Keep drawing that right shoulder back. Bring your left arm up and place the hand to the outside of the right knee. And then really twist your body from your lower back, your middle back, and your upper back to the right. From there, you're going to slide your left arm down, bend the elbow, bring the hand to heart center, and then bring your right hand to join the arm. And you're twisting the body to the right. Really twist the body over. Really, your left arm is hooked outside your right knee, and you can use that to really twist further towards the right. Make sure you're breathing still. And then slowly come back to center. Now we're just going to come to sit on our left heel now. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're just going to draw your torso over your right leg. That's it. Keep that right foot active, toes pointing up, knee pointing up. And then you're going to come back up. Now we're going to do that again. You can either stay on your heel or pop your foot on the outside of your left hip. So that's if your foot goes onto the outside. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, draw your torso over your right leg. So option to stay on your heel, or just bring the inside of your left foot onto the outside of your left hip. And then just breathe here. And then slowly come back up. Coming back to that lunge. Step your right foot back. And this time step your left foot forward. Slide that right leg back and make sure your left knee is stacked above your left heel. So find that stretch along the front of your right thigh. Maybe you feel it along the inside or outside of your left leg. Just hold it there. Take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly draw your hips back, extending your front leg. Just drawing your chest onto the inside of that left leg. Inhale, come forwards. Keep your shoulders drawing down your back. And exhale, come back. Just check in on your breath every now and then. Make sure you're breathing. And then come forwards again. Just stay there for a moment. And then you're going to bring your hands onto the inside of that left leg. So remember, you can bring that foot about an inch out to the left if you need to. You're either going to stay here on your hands, drawing your left knee into your left arm, or you can come down to your elbows. Remember, if you're coming down to your elbows, don't lose that connection between your left leg and your left arm. You can always use blocks if your elbows don't quite reach the floor just yet. Gaze is just forward. Just breathing into that first point of resistance. Again, try not to let that left hip draw forward. Energetically, keep drawing it back. And then slowly come back up. Bring your right hand under your right shoulder. And then you're just going to slowly open up the left arm. Come into a gentle twist. You can bring the left arm behind you. Just make sure that that left foot is planted into the mat and the knee's not shooting outward. And then slowly bring that hand down. Step your left foot a couple of inches to the left and then turn the toes out, coming onto the outside of that foot. And you're going to use your left hand to open that left hip. Again, you can stay here, or you can draw that right leg further back and then bend the knee and bring your left arm behind you. So drawing that right heel in towards that right buttock. So remember, if you are doing the second version, make sure you're on top of your thigh. You're not placing any pressure into that knee joint. Keep turning your torso over that left leg. And then slowly bring that leg in, and so that your front leg and your back leg are parallel. Lovely. Now this time you're going to reach your left arm up, place your hand behind your sacrum, reach your right arm up and place your hand onto the outside of your left leg. Take an inhale, looking forward to begin with, really extending from your hips, reaching out through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, slowly start to twist to the left, twisting from your lower spine, your middle spine and your upper spine. You can stay here, or slowly start to slide your right arm down, Hooking the elbow outside your left leg, bending the elbow and bringing the hand to heart center. Left hand joins your right hand. So twisted prayer position, twisted lunge position. As you draw the hands to your heart center, really twist your torso to the left. Keep twisting, keep breathing. Try not to clench your front toes. Really work on the twist here. Really stretching your spinal muscles. Massaging and stimulating your organs. One more breath here. And then slowly come back. So this time we're going to slowly shift our hips back. Sitting our right hip over our right heel. Extending our left leg. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to slowly come over your front leg. Lovely. Inhale, come up. So you're either going to do that one again, or you're going to come to sit your right buttock down, bringing the inside of your right foot just outside your right hip. Take an inhale and exhale, bring yourself over. So remember, if you can't get your right hip down, just stay on your right heel. Keep that left foot active, just breathing into that left leg. Nice, guys. Once you find that juicy spot, just hold it there and breathe into it. You might notice one side feels completely different to the other. And then slowly come back up. Come back to your lunge. Step your left foot back. And then we're going to slowly come to sit on our heels. Now, if you have any knee issues here, you can sit on some cushions. Otherwise, you're going to slowly start to bring your feet onto the outside of your hips. So again, if you find this is too much on your knees, you can sit on a block, or just place some cushions underneath your knees and stay on your heels. Now, if your sit bones don't quite reach the floor, you can place a block in between. If you do have a block in between, you're just going to work on walking your hands back and extending your chest up to the ceiling, drawing your knees down towards the mat, just working in this position. If you've got your sit bones rooted into the mat and your knees are drawing in towards each other, you can start to bring yourself back onto your elbows. So really extending the front of the quads. So listen to your body. If you feel any aches or pains in your knees, you do not come to this version. Just come to the first version of sitting on your heels, placing a cushion between your knees, or maybe sitting on a block. Okay, so when you're here, if you want to go, you can stay here and just work on this position. Just drawing your chest up towards the ceiling. Make sure you keep your chin towards your chest so you're not flinging your neck back. Or maybe just come all the way down. If you're coming all the way down, again, make sure your knees are drawing down towards the mat as well. They're not lifting. And then bring your arms up behind you, grabbing onto opposite elbows. And then we're just going to hold it here and breathe into the whole body. So work wherever you are, work within your limits. Find that first point of resistance and just breathe into it. Just a couple more breaths here. And so if you're all the way back, you're going to slowly bring your hands to your feet and then come back onto your elbows. And then everyone on their elbows, slowly start to make your way back. And then we're all going to come to sit on our knees again. Okay, we're going to come into camel pose today. So I want you to slowly start to lift your hips off your heels. And you want to bring your knees hip distance apart. So you can place two fists between both your knees. And then make sure your feet are in line with your knees, toes pointing back. Once you're in this position, you're going to bring your right hand behind your lower back and your left hand behind your lower back. Fingertips pointing down and draw the elbows back. So you want your hips to be drawing forward and your chest to be lifting up towards the ceiling. elbows drawing back and chin towards your chest. So this just extends the whole front body and a gentle back opener. So now in this position, there should be no compression in your lower back or your neck. And make sure your toes are untucked. If you've got your toes tucked, the pressure goes into your knees. So make sure you're on the tops of your feet. And as you lift the chest, use your hands to draw your hips forward. So you want to make sure your thighs and your hips are drawing forward as your chest is reaching up towards the ceiling. So this is a real heart-opening pose. And then slowly come back up and come to sit on your heels. We're going to do that again. So you can stick to the first option that I've just shown you, really drawing the chest up to the ceiling, lengthening from your sort of pubic bone all the way up to your chest and expanding the shoulders with your elbows drawing back. Or you're going to join me in the second version. So the second version, if you've got blocks, you can place blocks between your feet if you can't quite reach the heels. But otherwise, we're all going to start with our hands behind our lower back, elbows drawing in. And we're pushing the hips forward, drawing the chest up to the ceiling. Again, keep the chin drawing into the chest. So you either stay here, or you slowly draw your left hand back, bringing your left hand onto your heel. So make sure your hips don't draw back, and draw your right hand back. Bring your right hand onto your right heel. And then draw those hips forward. Lift the chest towards the ceiling. Gaze can be up to the ceiling, but again, do not fling your neck back. And then hold it here. If you've got your heels, you can maybe just walk your hands a little bit further down. Just check in on your lower back, check in on your neck. Make sure you're not feeling any uncomfortableness. If you are, just come back up. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back up. Slowly bring yourself to sit on your heels. And now just drop your chin into your chest. And then just make your way into child's pose. So bring your knees slightly wider than hip distance and just walk your hands forward. And then slowly coming back up. We're going to start to make our way into pigeon. So just draw your right knee behind your right wrist. Tuck your right foot behind your left wrist and tuck that left leg under. Really draw that left hip under. Keep your hands either side of your hips. Really extend your spine. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to walk your hands forward. So really extending your hands forward. Drawing your forehead down to the mat. If it doesn't reach the mat, remember you can always place a block or a cushion underneath. Once in position, keep tucking your left hip under, drawing your right hip back. Find that juicy spot and just breathe into it. On your next inhale, slowly start to walk your way back up. Turn your torso over your right knee, take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're just going to walk yourself over your right knee. Again, just extending your arms along the mat. And then trying to bring your forehead down to the mat or onto a block or cushion. And then really breathing into the side of that right leg now. Just check in on your breath. Use your breath to just draw it down to any resistance you're feeling. And then on your next inhale, slowly come back up. And then from there, you're going to slowly make your way back into your tabletop position. And this time, draw your left knee behind your left wrist. left foot behind your right wrist. Draw your right leg back. Really come onto the top of that right hip. You might need to walk that right leg to the center slightly. Hands either side of your hips. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale. Just extend yourself over your front leg. Really stretching those arms forward. And just bringing the forehead down to the mat or just resting it onto a cushion or a block. Try to draw the shoulders away from the ears. So try not to create tension in the shoulders. Once in position, keep drawing your right hip under, left hip back. And once you find that first point of resistance, just breathe into it. Last inhale. And exhale. And then on your next inhale, slowly bring yourself back up. Turn your torso over your left knee. And as you take an inhale, and as you exhale, slowly start to bring yourself over that left knee. Again, extending those hands away from you and then bringing the forehead down to the mat or onto some support. Just breathing into the outside of that left leg now. One more breath here. And then slowly come back up. This time just bring your right leg in front. And then we're just going to come to a quick wide leg position. Just bend your left knee, bring your the inside of your left foot onto the inside of your right groin. Take an inhale, the sole of your left foot. And as you exhale, just walk your torso over your right leg. So again, try to draw your chest down towards your leg rather than your forehead. And just check that you're still breathing. Make sure that right leg is active, toes and knee pointing up. And then slowly come back up. Extend your left leg out and this time bend your right knee, playing the sole of the right foot onto the inside of that left leg. Turn your torso over your left leg, take an inhale, and as you exhale, just draw yourself over your left leg. Use your breath to just soften some of the tightness you might be feeling. And you might notice after a few breaths, you can go that little bit further. One more breath here. And then slowly come back up. Now bring your legs nice and wide. Pull the flesh from underneath your sit bones. Maybe just internally rotate those thighs. Make sure your legs are nice and active, knees and toes pointing up. So if you have a tendency to round in your spine, you're just gonna bring your hands behind you and work on extending your spine. Otherwise, bring your hands in front, take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to walk your hands forward. Again, keep your spine nice and long, and then slowly start to draw your chest down towards the mat. Inhale, lengthen. With each exhale, your chest just slowly starting to make its way down towards the mat. Try not to let your feet roll in or out. So just keep your legs nice and active. Heels pressed down into the mat. Once you find that stretch along the inside of your legs, or wherever you're feeling it, just hold it and breathe into it. And then after your next full breath, you're going to slowly start to make your way back up. Draw your thighs in towards each other. And then slowly start to make your way down to your mat. Just bend your knees here. Draw your knees into your chest. Just have a gentle hug of the knees. Maybe rocking from side to side. And then slowly start to make your way to a happy baby pose. So you can grab the backs of your heels, index middle finger around your big toes, or just grabbing the outsides of your feet. Soles of feet parallel to the ceiling, knees drawing down towards the mat. Try to keep the lower back connected to the mat as well. And maybe just a gentle rock here. And then you're just going to draw the knees back into the chest. Then place your feet onto the mat. Bring them about hip distance. Keep the knees bent. Arms nice and wide. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, just drop your knees over to the left. Gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Gaze center. Exhale, drop the knees over to the right. Gaze over your left shoulder. So just a gentle supine twist. And then bring the knees back to center. If you want to draw your knees into your chest one last time, just to bring yourself to a neutral spine position before we come into our final pose, Shavasana. Then just lengthen your legs down the mat. Just allow your feet to spread out. Palms face open, fingertips roll in. And then just slowly allow the whole body to soften. Soften your feet, your legs, your thighs, your hands, your forearms, your arms. The front and the back of your body. Shoulders pressing down into the mat, chest nice and open. Release any tension in your neck, your face and your jaw. And then just soften that area around your eyes, your cheeks and forehead. As we come into our final pose, Shavasana. I invite you to stay in Shavasana for at least 5 to 10 minutes to really reap the benefits of today's practice. Namaste.